Chapter 2: The Layers of Integration. Mapping the layers. If disconnection pulls us apart, then integration is what holds us together. It's not a single act or moment of enlightenment. It's a gradual layering of relationships, meanings, and actions that align our inner world with the one around us. These layers don't exist in isolation. They overlap and breathe through one another, like concentric rings that expand from ourself outward. When one of these rings fractures, we feel it, sometimes quietly, sometimes like an earthquake beneath our feet. Understanding the layers help us notice where the cracks begin, so that we can start the work of repair. The self, where it begins. Every journey towards integration starts here, with you, not the polished version that performs for others, but the deeper self beneath all the noise. Your values, your memories, your pain, your potential. When that inner ground becomes unstable, everything else begins to sway. Self-awareness isn't just an act of reflection, it's a form of anchoring. It's how you begin to know what's yours to carry and what belongs to the world. Integration at this level often looks simple. Brushing your teeth, journaling your thoughts, making your bed, saying no when you need to. These are acts of self-recognition, tiny gestures that say, I still exist. I'm still here. It's not about perfection. It's about orientation, turning toward yourself with honesty and curiosity instead of avoidance or shame. Family, the first mirror. Family, whatever that word means for you, is our first level of connection. It's where we learn love, responsibility, how to see and to be seen. Sometimes it's blood. Sometimes it's chosen. Always it leaves an imprint. These bonds can nurture or wound us, but even in their imperfections, they teach us how to relate to others and ourselves. When family becomes strained through silence, shame, or distance, we often carry those fractures into the rest of our lives. But reintegration here doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it simply means softening your story, seeing your parents as human, letting go of the version of the past that keeps you frozen. Family remains our first mirror, cracked, maybe, but still capable of reflecting love if we dare to look again. Community, the shared circle. Beyond the home lies the network we build with others, classmates, teammates, colleagues, and online friends. Community isn't just a collection of people. It's the rhythm of exchange, the places we give and receive value. When we participate, truly participate, we form feedback loops of belonging. Our efforts ripple outwards and return to us in ways we might not expect. The sense of being part of something larger than our own orbit gives us structure and purpose. In contrast, when we isolate, the world begins to feel distant and meaningless. Community is the antidote. It's not about the quantity of connections, but the quality. Showing up for one another, even when we don't feel like it, builds a quiet kind of strength. A message, a shared meal, a brief conversation, these are the threads that weave us back into the fabric. Society, the larger story. Society is the wider web of symbols, institutions, and narratives that shape how we live. It includes the governments we elect, the media we consume, the schools we attend, and the algorithms that decide what we see. When trust in these structures erodes, we can feel directionless, as if no compass remains. But part of maturing into integration is learning to navigate society with discernment, to question what deserves our trust without falling into cynicism. We can't control every system, but we can influence the small spaces we inhabit, workplaces, classrooms, and online communities. When we take ownership there, we begin to heal our relationship with the whole. Integration on this level is civic, but also spiritual, an act of choosing to contribute rather than withdraw. Transcendent, beyond the visible. Beyond all these layers lies something greater, a sense that life extends past the limits of the self. Some call it God, others call it nature, purpose, or the pulse of the universe. Whatever name we give it, the transcendent invites us to see meaning as something shared. When we connect to that higher dimension, through art, prayer, nature, meditation, or service, suffering becomes more bearable. We remember that our story is part of a vast, unfolding whole. Integration here is humility in motion. It's the recognition that we are both small and significant, plays in a story we didn't write but can still shape. The layers aligned. When these layers, self, family, community, society, and the transcendent, align even briefly, we experience a deep sense of belonging. Life feels coherent, purpose sharpens, the world feels less random, more alive. But when one cracks, the tremor travels through the rest. Disintegration begins slowly, invisibly, often before we notice what's gone missing. To see these layers clearly is to understand where to begin the work of mending. Reflection prompts. Which layer in your life currently feels most stable? Which feels neglected? What small action could help strengthen your connection to family or community this week? When was the last time you felt connected to something greater than yourself? And what reminded you of that feeling?